Make it really short though.
Hello and welcome to Before We Break Up Again, a hit comedy podcast with me, Alfie Brown, and her, Jessie Cave. My Edinburgh Fringe run is on sale now. There's a link in the description so you could purchase tickets to my Edinburgh Fringe run right now via the link below. So I do that. Alfie Brown, the entertainer, 6 p.m. on Cowgate in the Underbelly. How exciting for me and for you, should you wish to attend. Because it's on sale and you wanted to make it quick. You expressly said to me before this, make it quick.
Yes, and that's not quick.
It's certainly not now, is it?
No.
Please become a Patreon at patreon.com/braveclown, where we do, there's another whole episode every single week of Before We Break Up Again. And then on top of that, there's Cheap Biscuits, our low culture analysis podcast that currently is focusing on season 13 of Married at First Sight Australia. In this episode, it's my fucking birthday tomorrow, so I have the birthday blues, and Jessie tries to cheer me up with a rather amusing story about Harry Potter. Tune in and enjoy yourself. Well, we certainly have done. We're going to bed now.
That now it's way too long. Okay, that's really bad.
Enjoy the episode. Right. It's the 9th of April 2026 at the time of recording. It's 20 minutes past 10. This episode is... I'm going to start again, actually. Actually, no, I'll leave that in as a little... That's an indicator of linguistically where I'm at right now, at 20 past 10 on April the 9th, 2026.
Why are you down? Birthday blues.
Birthday blues. I always get a very deep sense of ennui on the day of my birthday, and always have ever since my 16th birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
16. But up until then, you loved birthdays?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I have memories of certain birthdays before 16, but I remember being excited about it and feeling like I've had good birthdays since then. 18 was a fucking doozy.
Why?
Because I had a big party and I didn't feel embarrassed about having a party because it was 18, so it felt like, no, I simply must have a party. And it's the one time I've ever allowed myself the indulgence of a party. That and my 27th birthday party, actually, which you gate crashed with news of pregnancy. So, and that was a very pleasant and fun birthday. Maybe I should have parties more. I just can't stand it. And I was just trying to explain to our daughter downstairs. She said, "Oh, are you excited about your birthday?" And I went, "No, not really. But, you know, after a certain amount of years, you just stop being excited about your birthday." And she went, "Oh."
I know. She's really excited about it.
I've got you a card. I'm very excited about that.
She's the only one to have persistently asked when it is, and we were shopping the other day and she specifically went out to get you a card, and she took time away this afternoon. Everyone else was watching TV, but she took herself off to do the card.
Maybe I should have said I was excited about it then.
No, so tomorrow just make a big deal of the card.
I will. Yeah. Of course I will.
Yeah, I know you will, but I'm just making sure.
Yeah, but you're saying it.
The back, knowing the history of the card now, there's a lot of pressure on this card.
Yeah, of course I'm going to love the card.
Good.
And I haven't really ever had a birthday or experienced birthday with the children thinking with a degree of agency about the fact that it is somebody who they love's birthday that they would like to make feel nice. And that will be a special thing for that brief moment where it exists. I think that'll be special.
Yeah.
There you go.
They've been, I feel like they want me to like my birthday more too. They've already asked me about it and what I'm going to do. And it's just something that I don't know. I think maybe there is a common thread between people who don't like birthdays. And it is probably some kind of horrible event happened on a birthday, or just something went wrong early on a birthday, and ever since.
I think it's much more. Well, for me, I don't like my birthday because it illuminates the idea of another year having passed, and that in itself highlights that I'm a lack of progress, or the fact that my life isn't. It illuminates failure somehow.
Well, that's because we always see stories of like wrote his first play at 22, West End debut at 27, 4 novels written by 30, rejected by 3 publishers at 31, but had 4 bestsellers at 35. There's just so many things about the age you were when you did this, and then there's you get married, that you get engaged, then you get married, then you have kids at this age, and it's just like we've not really done any of that.
I remember it was one of the longest conversations I ever had, or one of the most sort of exposing. Or Adam, my director, who's died, I remember speaking to him. He never celebrated his birthday, but I mean, even more so than me, would never tell anybody when his birthday is. His birthday was a secret so that he could just get on with his normal life without anybody ever really knowing. And he said, for the same reason as me, he didn't like his birthday. And whereas for a man of such confidence and self-assuredness to give over the information that, well, no, it was because I don't like it, because I don't like how it makes me feel about myself, was a really nice thing for him to share with me, because it made me feel less alone in my own self-loathing, my birthday self-loathing.
I have that too, though. You should feel less alone because of me too.
I do now, but back then I didn't, because it was 2020 and we weren't getting on.
We were getting on. We had 10.
Yeah, I know. That's why we didn't get on.
We did get on. We've always got on, you dick. Always got on.
I'll show you the tapes of the podcasts that we tried to.
We should do that.
Yeah, I know. I'll show you the tapes of the podcasts that we recorded then, the very, very earliest before we break up again. And you can tell me whether or not you think we're getting on in those podcast clips.
No, I won't enjoy that, actually, because I'll look great and you'll look so much worse. And I've now aged and I'll be like too vain to watch that and appreciate it.
That seems like a problem that needs getting over in itself, doesn't it?
I don't know how. I don't know how I'll ever get over that.
Because you will always be aging, won't you?
I know. It's awful. It's really awful, isn't it?
I'm teaching these stand-up classes. I've just come from one tonight. And there's, first of all, it's one of the most remarkable and life-affirming and enriching things to teach people and have them be enthusiastic about what you're teaching them, and for them to feel like they are excited about the things that you're trying to tell them and teach them and trying to help them discover about themselves. And there's this guy, I was trying to do this thing where I think, and this is actually from you that I learned this, because when we first got together, you got me to write a character profile of myself as if I was a character in a sitcom. So like if I was a character in a sitcom and I was submitting a treatment describing the sitcom, and a profile of a certain character, me, had to appear in this treatment, what would that treatment say? And it's a brilliant artistic exercise in self-knowledge. And I've thought about it ever since. And it really, really, where did you learn that from?
Oh, one of those writing books.
Oh, dear. Well, anyway.
No, it wasn't one of those writing books. It was one of those things where somebody had said something in a development meeting early doors when I first started having those development meetings. And somebody said something like, because I think it was me trying to write a sitcom starring me, obviously. And somebody said, well, how would you write your character description? And I tried to do it and it was so upsetting, but actually worked for comedy. And then I think I also read something in a book that it's really good to just write out. I think it's a therapy exercise actually, to write out your life as if it's a story, and you can either write one version where it's going really well, like it's a happy story, and all of the events, yes, this happened, but it ended up happy, and then this happened, and then this happened, and it was all awful, and then the worst thing of all happened, and it was even more awful. It's a kind of an amalgamation of those two exercises.
Okay, it's really interesting, and this guy who I adore, who comes, and I asked him like what he thought the defining characteristics of who he was, if he was to caricature himself, but instead of his facial features, you give yourself big nose and big teeth, if those are your biggest features, the biggest features of your personality, what would you enlarge and exaggerate for comedic effect? And he said, well, I'm old, but I don't really want to be. And I went, yeah, that's a big idea. That's fun. And he's an amazing actor as well. He has these movements with his face where he'll be reading something and then sneer at somebody next to him. And the way he'll move his eyes and his eyebrows, he has a really natural comedic way of moving his face that really makes me laugh. But also this idea of age, because aging it's shit, but it is the more desirable outcome. Because not aging is just dying. So if you're aging, yeah, it's a bummer, but the alternative is so much worse.
Well, I think that's the one positive thing from death, having someone you love die, especially young, is that, it's a privilege. It is a privilege to get older. And I'm really glad that we've survived and we're this age and we're almost 40, and that's fucking remarkable. It's so easy to die. If you think about the ways and the amount of things that could go wrong.
I read this way back home actually on my drive.
Well, I was thinking two things today about you, or because of you, but I finally went through this desk drawer. I've had this desk now since 2013. This desk is older than our relationship. And
yes, I remember it.
This drawer has been used for everything, and I thought, finally I'll go through it today because I had a bit of time. And there was so much stuff from Donnie being a baby, Margot being a baby, and then 10 and Becca's pregnancy. And on, I think it was 10's, there was his chart, when he was being monitored in the hospital when he was first born. And then there was also his birth report, or evidence of him, his first evidence. And it says something like birth ... birth, and then is it colon? I never know. Colon is a colon. Two dots. Yeah. Birth ... birth colon. Sorry. God. Living. So status of birth, living.
Oh, that's nice.
It's fucking awful. It's so stark.
Jesus Christ.
Could have not been.
Also, you'd need telling from a chart. I'm pretty confident that I could have looked at him and worked it out. Just say what you fucking see. Your kid's alive. But his fucking ribs are moving. He's
But it's such an amazing thing to have a child born, to have a pregnancy survive to 9 months and then to birth it and it be okay, and
Absolutely.
take it home. People don't realize that. It's fucking incredible.
Sure.
And then I was also thinking about you because in the car, Donnie was playing a song. He wanted to play Bo Burnham again, and I was like, let's just play something else. Oh no, I dropped him off. Are you listening, Donnie? Is that you, or is that the wind? That's the wind. His playlist was playing. It was all Bo Burnham, and I I thought I can't listen to this anymore. But the last song so the next song that played on the radio or the shuffle or whatever was a song I don't think I've ever listened to in full because I was not a Monty Python fan.
Always look on the bright side of life.
And the lyrics in that are incredible. Like you just said, like life is shit. Mm-hmm. Life is really shit for most people. But we're here. We might as well fucking live.
So welcome to my birthday episode where we are just having fun. We're having a lot of fun. It's my birthday and this is our light-hearted intro into the podcast. At the beginning of every episode, we just like to have a little chat, a debrief. We keep it light at the beginning. You'll be familiar, long-time listeners will be familiar that at the beginning of these episodes, we just have a little fluffy little chat like that, like we just did. And that was, I hope you enjoyed it. So
I don't think we can do the questions now. It's too much of a leap.
We can do the questions. Of course we can do the questions.
One of the questions that I think is actually almost kind of something we touched on just now is...
what's the coldest thing you ever put in your anus?
No, not that one.
Long-time listener, first-time caller, what's the coldest thing you've ever put in your anus? Can we do that one as a little palate cleanser, please?
Pills.
Pills? You put pills in your anus?
Well, someone else did. I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
The lady's finger who gave me a prostate exam, that was a bit chilly.
So both of us are medical. It's not that fun.
Yeah.
It's not that
but
fun.
It did make me feel like, come on.
No. Let's just move on.
Oh, yes. It could have been funny and ever so slightly dirty. Yeah. Jessie, you have to just allow these things to take place.
I thought you were going to be over-sexualized about the nurse. I thought you were going to make a smutty comment.
I might have done, and that would have been okay. Yeah, that would have been okay.
I don't think so. That's where I don't agree with you.
Okay, but why don't you wait and see and then meet judgment on me after I've made or not made the mistake? Would you like to hear what I was going to say?
No. But you're going to tell me anyway.
No, I'm not.
Okay, good. Are either of you in therapy?
No.
Have you made friends in Liverpool?
I mean, this is therapy, isn't it?
This is our therapy, yeah. This is way cheaper than couples therapy. Although I don't know if we needed it in 2020. We don't really need it now.
No, we worked it out.
Yeah, we just worked it out. It's fine.
We could still both probably do with a bit of therapy just on our own terms, though, I think. Don't you think? I certainly could use a bit of therapy, but not...
What you do, it's like I'm a toddler. You do this thing when we talk about therapy. You're like, well, I certainly will be getting...
Is that the therapy? The therapy's very good. Jessie, why don't you try some therapy? It's so good. I feel so much better now. Here comes the cognitive behavioral therapy.
Not CBT, thank you very much. I can't sit still.
No,
we're not. We're not in therapy. Do you think you are compatible?
Well, yeah, obviously. What kind of a fucking question is that?
Well, I don't think initially we were. No, maybe we were. On paper, we seemed very different, but we are actually very similar, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, we're desperately similar. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Really? You think we're similar?
Mm-hmm.
How?
I mean, we both have a similar sense of humor, despite the fact that you try to hide it on these podcasts and I'm much more open about it. You have an extremely dark sense of humor that is a lot of fun for me. And yeah, you try and hide that a little bit to pretend to any Potterheads listening that you're not.
You've been cancelled once. I can't go through that again.
Yeah, but I'm still going to say it's what I say on stage. Also, on podcasts, as long as you don't clip it up, you can say whatever you want.
No, you can't.
Jessie, I just would like you to take a look at the other podcasts that exist. From Have a Word to Dead Men Talking to Finn versus History. I would like you to just peruse these podcasts for 1 second and tell me what you think it is that we say that puts us in more danger than any of those people. Because I will guarantee that all of those people are treading the line in a very amusing bunch of various ways. Other podcasts are available, etc. This is not the cutting edge of acceptable humor.
Okay.
This is pretty fucking mild stuff. It could have gone so much worse with the up the arse stuff.
Oh, I know. Don't worry, I know.
I once tried to suck myself off with a bottle of Listerine.
I can't, Alfie. Stop.
When I was
Are you serious? Are you actually being serious?
yeah, when I was 11, yeah. Or 12. No ideas. If you're listening outside, pretty sure it's just the wind.
Have you made friends in Liverpool?
I've got friends in Liverpool.
Yeah, have you made any? Have you made? Yeah, you have.
I have made a friend in Liverpool.
Your dog person.
I've made more than one friend in Liverpool.
Oh, you made two.
Made two friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've made the I mean, if you include the dog that's currently downstairs,
Yeah.
that's a friend I've made in Liverpool.
I don't think we should include dogs.
No,
No.
I'd like to.
Can you? If you're going to tell me off for, doing that occasionally, I think you should tell yourself off for what you just did to your beard a few times, because that was disgusting.
I just scratched my
It's not just scratching your beard. It's if I was a listener.
Oh my God. You should have heard it through the headphones. It was really ASMR.
You need to apologize.
worthy.
You need to do a public apology now.
I'd like to publicly apologize for the sound of me scratching my beard. No, I have, yes. I've made a great friend who I walk dogs with, and a great friend who I
A great friend.
talk about. Well, I've made friends. I've
Yeah.
made two friends. And
Oh,
who knows?
good
Maybe
for
they'll both become
you.
great friends. Have you made any friends yet? Or are you too busy being a bitch?
I won't answer that question.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it a secret?
No, I just don't. That question was not for me. That was for you. I mean, it's clear that I
I
haven't
think
made.
it was for you. I think people had...
Of course, I haven't made friends.
You have.
Well, I've made like
You're on your way. You're just a slower burn than me.
what I have done is I've put in motion a few friendships. Put in motion. We're at the early days.
Yeah.
It would take me a few years, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And weirdly, I put in more effort with my friends from London here. Okay.
That's interesting. Yes, well, me and Paul have been to the football together, so there you go.
Right.
Stick that in your fife and smoke it. Any listener that can name the episode of The Simpsons that's from, prize awaits. Please, next question. I'll read one.
No, wait, I'm reading it. I'm choosing the most interesting one. The most interesting one is this. Thoughts on porn use while in a relationship. Is it reasonable for that to be a big no?
Jessie, why don't you tell us what you think, and then I'll tell you what I think, and we'll see how closely matched what you think is to what I think. Jessie, what do you think?
Well, I've never watched porn.
Yes, you have.
Well, no, but you can't really. I mean, I really haven't. I mean, I've watched
but you have.
Minimal, probably no more than 10 minutes of my whole life.
Yeah, that's 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, over 38 years.
It's still some of it, isn't it? It's not never.
Yeah, okay, well, I know what it is, but but when we were broken up the first time, and I had absolutely no idea, because I was just incredibly naive and innocent for some reason at that age.
Mm-hmm.
I just assumed that you were also not having sex, and we were going to be back together any day now, and with our two little babies, and it was all going to be like, I had absolutely no idea that you were having a good time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I worry that that's what's going on right now. I'm being incredibly naive about porn and how much you maybe are watching, because I would say that you don't ever watch it.
Well, yeah, you're right. I don't.
Yeah, well, that's good. Because if you somehow said, imagine if you said, no, I watch it like 3 times a week. I remember when I found out that you had sex with other people, I honestly felt like I was a boiled egg and someone had just like got the top off. I was like, what?
Well, I think when left to my own devices, I would, or if I was in a hotel room or on tour by myself, then I would watch it, or I would have watched it in the past when we were together. But
Okay, so I wasn't with you. Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't in bed next to me.
Yeah.
She's snoring, so I can stick on the gangbang. No, I did, but then about over a year ago, I just stopped completely.
Over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So how often would it be before the year?
I mean, very, very rarely, because of the amount that you want and need it. There's very little space in my calendar to log on to whichever website it is.
Okay, that's comforting. But I don't think it is unreasonable for it to be a no.
Of course, it's not unreasonable for it to be a no. I
think it, I don't know, it suggests something. It just, if you were watching lots of it, I think I would have an issue with that, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that you would. I think if you were watching lots of it, I'd have an issue with it. So I get that entirely. And I think, you know, if we made an agreement that we were both it was fine for both of us when away from the other.
Whenever we've been in a hotel, we used to stay in a hotel where it would kind of be playing as soon as you went into the room, which was quite funny. And so it was something we both like watched together. And I thought it would be kind of like something that kind of got things, you know, going. And it kind of did, but it was more of it's
more hilarious.
Then you had to put it on mute and then just kind of then analyze.
Especially seeing as that was like movies where some guy comes over and then they have quite, it's like they look, the way that they kiss each other and mouth each other all over, it's like they are very hungry in porn.
Yeah, I just never quite was able to kind of what is the word, transcend, suspend my disbelief.
Suspend disbelief.
Suspend my disbelief.
Yeah, it's, I mean, as I've gotten older, it's become less appealing to me because it feels so unlikely and unreal. But also, I think the best reason not to watch it is because of its incredibly negative effects on the human brain, and because it just isn't a good thing to have in your diet. I don't think what it does to how you view sex, other people who you want to have sex with, how it affects things like your motivation and your sense of I never ever felt better on it. And if I ever did, like throughout my life, watch too much of it, I would end up in such a state of disgust with myself and torpor and muddy thinking and a sluggishness. Because, and I'm trying to write a long bit about it in my new show, The Entertainer, about what it is and what it does. And there's a Richard Dawkins thing about how human life is evidence of cells need to propagate themselves, or something. I can't remember what it is, but our desire to multiply, to procreate, to carry on, that's in us. And what porn is, it's the monetization and the abuse of that human instinct that is the reason for all human life. Any love that you feel in your life, or any nice chocolate cake that you eat, or any good thing that ever happens to you only happens to you because you exist. You only exist because people fucked. And to take away the source point of all humanity and make it something disposable and grotesque is, maybe I'm overthinking it.
Yeah, and also I don't think, I'm sure I could get into it as well in a healthy way. And I also know people that do it for a living and they seem really cool. Like, it's not like I'm judgmental of it at all. It's more that it's just something like so many other things in my life that I've just bypassed.
I think
parties.
You can talk I'm at liberty to talk about the negative effects of something without damning the people who make it. That's not my intention. I don't want to admonish anybody who creates, makes, or stars in pornography. I'm only telling you about what it does to me without any judgment for anybody who isn't me.
Yeah, and maybe the porn that you watched when you were younger wasn't that ethical, maybe?
They were all over the age of consent.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I think there is lots of porn out there that I think could be, more, would make you feel less, I don't know, like you were explaining how you felt after you watched it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, yeah, it's more that I think it's quite funny that it's never been part of my life.
Really?
So bizarre. So many things nope, just walk right past that. Quick.
Next.
Well, it's boring now.
What?
I don't want to do questions anymore.
Okay, cool.
Let's try and perk you up. Come on.
You want to try and perk me up?
Yes, let's have you now be funny.
Okay.
Let's try and make you laugh.
Okay, try and make me laugh then. What do you do that makes me laugh?
I told you what happened yesterday that was very funny, that I did in the park to the man. I can make you laugh with like.
So you're going to tell me a story you've already told?
Yeah,
me?
I'll tell you a story that I've always told you.
Go on.
Yeah,
then.
yeah. Well, it's quite funny though. I was in the park and our two little boys were running around and they were hiding from me, and so one of them hid under this giant slide.
Yeah.
And I could see him, and I turned around and I went.
Remember that the majority of people listen to this.
I did the.
You pointed with two fingers at your own eyes, and then you pushed those two fingers towards your son.
And I went, "I'm watching you."
Yeah.
And I said that too. I'm watching you. And this dad just thought I was doing it right at him. And looked actually quite worried for a second and did the kind of like looking back to see if I was doing it. But obviously the Becca was so tiny he couldn't see the Becca was at his knee. So just thought that I was doing it at him. That was great.
That is great.
That make you funny?
No, well, it was funny. It made me laugh. It made me laugh yesterday.
What else?
I like laughing at. We've laughed a lot on this episode. We've just also.
What do I laugh at?
I don't
let's
know.
laugh at something right now. Oh, let's find something to laugh at.
There was a website when I was in my early 20s called Fail Blog, and that had lots of various videos called Something Fail, Something Else Fail, and there was one that was called Zorb Fail, and there's a young woman who quite clearly wants to try and make it as a TV presenter. And she's full of energy and she's ready to give a really good take. And she knows that she's got to deliver this. She's got to deliver the message straight down the barrel of the camera. And everything is riding on this moment. It's a big moment. I go, oh, go Zorb, go Maddie. And then she comes in and goes, hey, Maddie, we're coming in with a 308 and it's all goes. And she's really in it. And then the Zorb rolls down the hill and flattens her. And the extent to which it's one of those videos that is very funny, but I'm sure wouldn't be if you found out what happened to her, because the smack that she makes on the floor is incredible.
Was she okay?
Well, I don't know. It's called Fail Blog. They're not going to be there at her fucking bedside, are they? She's just slapped. And there was the other one called Scare Fail, which was somebody interviewing a kid in high school on Halloween. And they're next to a bin, a big American-style garbage can that's like a chest. And during the interview, somebody comes out of the bin, pops up and goes, in like a Frankenstein mask. And this guy who's being interviewed, in one motion, swivels his upper body and smacks this guy straight in the jaw. And the guy collapses into the bin and the lid shuts. And then the guy who's hit him in the face goes, I don't know what do you wanted me to do there, but that's what happens. There's just this guy in the bin in this Frankenstein mask, all passed out and whatnot. What are you writing down there?
Nothing. Sorry, I just need to remember this.
Yeah.
I was listening to that story. It was
illuminating.
It reminded me of the Tom Cruise one on the red carpet. Do you remember where they showed the live interviews with celebrities on the red carpet, and there would be somebody from like CBBC, and their thing was squirting water at the celebrities. And most celebrities responded well, but Tom Cruise did not like it.
Yeah, I like that video.
I think you saw a bit of the anger there.
I think you saw quite a lot of it, didn't you?
Yeah, a lot. But it wasn't it wasn't like I don't think it was a proportionate response.
No, neither do I. But I do think that squirting water at people is an incredibly irritating thing to do. And if somebody had squirted water to me when I was walking down the red carpet, I would go, "What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
just fuck off." Like, or think of a funny question to. Is this like this isn't amusing? You're a fucking loser. That's what you are. You're a fucking loser. Fuck off.
Yeah, and then your career would be over.
Yeah. That's what I bet. I mean, it's never.
So with once we were in the park, in where we used to live, and I was playing football, or I don't know, throwing a ball to one of them, and we had half the court for the
memories, isn't it?
Oh yeah, half the court this way for the little people, and then the little like toddlers.
Toddlers, right?
And then
little people is actually a politically
split up
correct term for people with.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a story about that in a second.
Okay, great.
A court, half of it was for the toddlers, and then half of it was being used for the kind of, tweens, Donnie's age downwards.
Yeah.
And I was facing this way, and like, oh, that's cool, like throwing the ball to Becca, and out of nowhere, you might have been there and seen this. Out of nowhere, a ball went to the back of my head, like slam. I thought I died. It was so painful. So I turned around, it was one of these 12-year-old boys who looked terrified. He was like, sorry. And I knew everyone was around. If I responded badly, it would be awful. But I was also like, am I okay? Am I going to die? Do I have concussion? Can I scream at this child? And it was awful. I did shout. I was like, what? What was that? What was that? Anyway, I was thinking about that today because...
How long ago was that?
This was like last year. Right. Maybe the year before.
Where?
Where we lived last, in the playground. I was thinking about that today because that feeling of just like, what the fuck has just happened? I have no bearings. I don't know where I am. Is what I feel like we've been living like for quite a long time. Like, what are we? It's like we've just been like, we're here in Liverpool and we have a ridgeback.
Don't do that again.
Sorry.
That was very aggressive.
I'm sorry.
It really hurt.
Sorry.
So much.
Actually.
No, but it was.
But there's so many new things all the time that I'm just kind of constantly like, where are we? What are we doing?
Well, just you waiting until we get the second dog.
Shall I tell you something that is also funny, which might make you laugh just before we leave?
Okay, and then we're going to do our favorite red carpet stories. Times that you've been down the red carpet. And
Me?
What it was like. Yeah, I want to know about how you going down the red carpet.
Or the 2 times.
Yeah, then I'll tell you about all the times I've been down the red carpet.
No, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you anyway.
I don't want to learn about that.
You do.
I don't want to do that.
You do.
I'm not doing that.
I will.
The only good thing that ever happened to me on the red carpet is meeting Rick Edwards, who became a friend.
That's where you met him?
Yeah, I met him on the red carpet.
Is that when you were in one of your sort of fancy dress outfits?
No, that was at the Harry Potter premiere.
Yeah, when you were in one of your...
Fancy dress outfit.
Yeah, like one of those
That's
extraordinary dresses.
That's kind.
You've described those dresses as quite eccentric, haven't you?
Well, I don't think it was fashion. It was high fashion.
I'm not even sure, like, Jessie. This is such a stitch up.
No,
when
I'm
you do
joking.
this to me.
I'm joking. I was joking.
It's quite an eccentric outfit, wasn't it?
In retrospect. So whilst I was filming Harry Potter, the biggest thing ever in my life up until that moment was getting this job in Harry Potter. And then I had to do the kissing scene. No, it was one of the scenes. It was a big scene. And Rupert and I had to enter the room.
It's just Rupert.
Rupert Grint.
Oh, Rupert Grint. That's
had
good.
to enter the room where Daniel and Emma were. And she was crying about the fact that Ron had run off with Lavender. And
the character.
Yeah. And we had to be laughing as we went in. I think we had to be laughing. And it was, the vibe wasn't really kind of working. We were kind of cold and very awkward. And so I thought to be funny, to try and loosen up the moment between me and Rupert, who barely knew each other and having to do this. And I could tell that he was kind of tense. I might be remembering that wrong, but that's what I felt. I started telling him the funniest moments from Jackass. So, do you remember that one where Preston, you know, the big guy, he lands on Pee-wee, or Wee Man? He lands on Wee Man and they go down the slide.
Pee-wee!
Sorry, Wee Man. I loved Wee Man. Is Wee Man alive? We should check. Let's check if he's alive, and let's check who else is. Who are we going to look up? Oh, to see if Orb Fail is alive.
So, carry on with your story, please.
Anyway, that's what I did, and I then just kept telling him stories about. Well, like I just remember the Preston one mainly, the Preston Wee Man.
Jason Acuna is alive and well. Born in Pisa, Italy in 1973. He's now 52 years of age. And he is, that's about it.
It's amazing that they're all healthy.
Big fan of Monster Energies. You know, his Wikipedia page is a Monster Energy t-shirt. I mean, I don't want to make judgments here, but if you're 4'6", it's a big kind of monster for me.
Well, that's what I think all of them, they probably have huge health problems because think of what they put their bodies through.
Well, yeah. Not just drinking Monster.
I think that Johnny Knoxville has a permanent issue, some injury that has caused him a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Who is your favourite Jackass member?
I'm not doing this. Okay.
That's what Rupert said.
And action, Zorb. Hold on. Action, Colleen.
Cheers, Maddie. Just like the movie, we're getting started here with the rock.
Okay, let's go to bed.
See what I mean?
Right, thank you for listening,
You're
everybody.
not stopping after 41 minutes.
No, we are. We are today.
We're not today.
No, we are.